Hello, hello. Hi, Judy. How are you tonight? I haven't been outside at all today. I don't even know how hot it is out there, but I would imagine it is quite hot. I'm just trying to get a couple more pieces together here. Oops. Butterfly. Who else is with me? We'll give a few minutes for people to tune in. And then I'm going to show you how to play with the diamond rocks. They're really quite cool. Hi, Sherry. How are you? Who else is out there with me? I'll give it another minute and then I'll get started. I have diamond crystals all over the place. It's the only thing I don't like is how messy this stuff can get. So yeah, so I'm just going to do a little demo tonight using the different diamond rocks. Oh, you're happy to be awake? I'm happy to be awake too. Only you're much later than I am. So I was trying a lot of different techniques, and then I decided to play around with the All and Create tape as well, and just created this tag. So there's some cool things that you can do with these diamond rocks. So they come in, and we have them all in the store. All you have to do is put in Dyamond, and they will all come up. The Perfect Pearls, or Diane's version, which is the diamond dust, and the diamond rocks will both come up. And so it comes in a clear. It also comes in pink flamingo, which is really fun. And then we have this one is Island Parrot. So it's a nice shade of green. And then we have Postbox Red. And, oops, screw that in. And we have, this is Lilac, Laid Back Lilac. And we do have other colors as well. Hi, Michelle. So there are other colors as well. Those are the ones that I just have here. And then we're also going to play a little bit with the diamond dust. And so the colors I have is the Postbox Red, which matches with that one, the Island Parrot, which matches with that one, the Laid Back Lilac, and the Pink Flamingo. So lots of fun. I don't know if you're familiar with diamond dots. Hi, Erin. Hi, Yvonne. But they are diamond dust. It's really a fun product to play with. So I'm going to demo how this stuff works. So the difference between the diamond rocks and regular embossing powders is that this stuff is actually what they refer to as being tumbled. So the process is a little different. So it won't necessarily give you that absolutely smooth look that you would get with embossing powder. Oh, I see I didn't heat that enough. I'm going to blast that with the heat gun. But what I've done here is I've done a little bit on the bottom, and then I did only one coat on the top. If you want that super, super rich look on there, then you've got to go with at least 3 coats on there, and then it can be almost like almost like glass. Like it's quite nice. And then what I've done here is I have stamped and I have put clear over the top, and I used a different color along the edge. Now I have crackled this, so then what I can do is I can go in and antique over the top of it to create, I have done this with vintage pieces to create a more antique look. This is actually the Queen of Hearts indigo blue stamp. And then I also did Alice, and then I just pounced a little bit of the diamond dust along the edges. Again, just to play with it to see, you know, what I can do. And again, you can hear it crackling. So when you're not putting it on chipboard, you can actually just, you know, crackle it up, which is cool, you know, to give that vintagey look again. And then take, I'm just using some vintage photo and going over the top, wiping it back, and then I get the vintage photo look in the crackles. So just a, you know, a couple of fun things to do. Oh, my fingers feel yucky. So how does this work? Well, I've gessoed a couple of pieces here for us to play with. And then I've got a couple of pieces that I have painted black. So the black makes your color a little more intense. And what we'll do is we will do some pushing of a stamp into there to give us some indentation. I think I'm going to move that down a little closer, make it better to see what I'm doing. There we go. And the heat gun I'm using is actually the heat tool. So the heat tool is different than the embossing gun. The embossing gun tends to blow all over the place, whereas a heat tool tends to be a more direct heat in one location. So they are a little different, believe it or not. I have both, so I use them in different applications. So I think what we'll do, I haven't used the, you know what, maybe this will, we're just going to use a blank piece for now. So in the store, we have all of the different products, and then we have all of the different squares that, let's see if I have some more out here. There are different shapes that we have in the store. This is some chipboard that I had, but we have the squares, the rectangles, all of these different sizes with the Diane Rivoli stuff. Hi, Gay. And so you can use these squares, build them, and then put them into an album or put them on, you know, your mixed media piece, whatever you want. So what I'm going to do first, this comes in a dabber form. This is the medium, or the embossing pad, embossing fluid. So we have the pad, which I'll use when I'm stamping, but I'm going to use this one. And in my wisdom today, I did what I tell everybody not to do, and I gave this bottle a real good squeeze to make the tip really super wet, and this blew off and I had it all over me. So I'm going to try not to press as hard. So I'm going to dab this on here. And it doesn't seem to be coming through. It's like there's some pink or red on there. Mind you, it doesn't matter. That's not going to show. But you want to get your embossing fluid onto your little piece. Get that going first, and we'll try. If that doesn't work, then I'll switch over to my pad. So I said, well, let's do the green. So I'm going to load up with the green embossing on here. I'm going to tap off what I'm not using. Put it back. These are squares from, I get them from the dollar store. They're the baking squares, the wax paper sheets, 6x6, and they're perfect when you're embossing. Okay, so I'm going to heat this one up first. And like I said, we try to do 3 coats on there to give it some really good heavy-duty covering and to make it super glossy. And depending on your application, I mean, if you wanted to do just 1 coat on something, you can certainly do that as well. But they are a lot of fun for mixed media pieces. And like I said, I was playing around and decided, you know, let me try it on one of the Prima tags, because I love the Prima tags. And I love the new washi tape from All and Create. Talking about All and Create, next week I'm doing a class on Tuesday night using All and Create, the washi tape, and I am going to do some cards with you. So the kits are in the store now. If you put in just Heather, my classes and my kits will come up. So you could see it's um, quite bubbly. I've got to fix my dabber, I think. Ouchie, and it's hot. So this is the first coat on there, and that is kind of cool, but that's not the look that I want to go for right now. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to use the pad on there and stamp it on. Let's see how good of a coverage I get this time. So we're on coat number 2. Move this out of the way because I'll have it blowing all over me. And like I said, I mean, this is great for your mixed media boards or in your journals, your cards even. I mean, you could do these squares, attach them onto the front of a card. Kind of cool. Put them in a folio or create the cover of a folio with different squares and different patterns. And the nice thing, like even just with the clear, you know, using the clear on things, you can create some really cool effects and looks. But it's always nice to have the color. Okay, we're gonna try this one again. I know if I squeeze it, the whole lid is going to pop up. See, that's what I said. The whole lid is going to pop up on me. Okay. Like I said, in my wisdom, I thought I would, you know, give it a real good squeeze. Well, I guess we're going to be sure to have enough on there this time. So, do as I say, not as I do. Is that the... Okay, at least I didn't wear it this time. Unfortunately, my bottle is... Yeah, that's not going to stay on. All right, we'll try that. And we are going on to coat number 3. So I want to give it a good coverage. Like, you can put as many coats as you like. And I just realized I used the square that I have for something else. So coat number 3, I'm heating up here. And yeah, the nice thing with this heat tool, that's right. Yep, you can use a stamp. I will use a stamp on it as well. I could stamp right into this. So let me just finish this piece. So now it's melted. So I'm going to take this stamp here and I'm pushing it into my embossing ink pad and I'm going to push it right in here and lift up. And you end up with the impression right into your piece, which is what I did on here as well, along this bottom here. So it creates this really cool look. Now I can go in, the reason you're putting the embossing ink on here is that you don't want to damage your stamp. Okay, so that is the green, which is really cool. Now what I can do, I can take my where's the lid for that? I could take some of my diamond dust now and put it in there. So I can take the pink, and what you want to do is you want to take a brush and you want to go in to those areas And you can color in those spots that you like. And there's these dots here. And then once you've got the color in there, you want to just brush off the excess. And then you've got the color in there, which is really cool. And then you can mist it with water just to set it. And then you've got this background colored in there, which is a lot of fun. And then you could take stickles and put stickles in there or whatever you want, you know, do some different things. But it is fun to be able to, you know, play with the two items. And then I'm going to show you the diamond dust on its own as well. But that's kind of a cool fun thing to do. So let's take a black square now, and we will use a different color. Postbox red, you have to do probably 4 coats. Yeah, fridge magnets, exactly. But I mean, in your art journals, these are really a lot of fun. And you can use any chipboard you have. Now, I have put a picture on the back of here. It's a an Alice one. So I want to cover it with just the clear rocks. And I've done that with a picture of one of my goats. So, and I didn't put a lot of coats on here, so it's still bumpy. That's the kind of the effect I want. But you can absolutely cover one of your photos. Isn't that cool? So it's got that high gloss on it. And that's my Oscar, baby Oscar. Okay, so on this one here, we're not going to mess around with my dabber. Let's just use my pad. And we're going to ink this up. Looks good. And then we will pour the purple laid back lilac on there. That looks like we got some good coverage. Pour that in there. It's so cool. I like watching it because, you know, just all of a sudden it starts to melt and your true color starts to come through. So it's always neat. See how it's getting darker purple on there? Oh, I love the laid back lilac. It's really nice. That's beautiful. Whoops. And you can always, you know, if something happens and you don't like it, you can always reheat it as well. All right, so let's get another coat on there. And ink it up. I will do 3 coats on this one. Get some good coverage on there. Tap, tap. Yeah, these little squares are just perfect. It's cool stuff. Cool stuff. So again, we're going to see that switch to the dark purple. And I love it when it's got that really glass look to it. And the colors are just so much fun. So they match her paint and everything else. So it's got a pretty good coverage on there right now. You could see it. It's just a little bit bumpy. So I am going to definitely do one more blast on there. . cover it up. Get rid of the excess. And let's heat it one more time. You see, because the background is quite hot now, it's melting a lot faster. And you could see that this heat tool, it's more direct. It's not blowing everything all over the place. Love this lilac. So I've got some really, really good coverage on here right now. There we go. Now it just looks like glass. And so cool. Beautiful square. Whoops. Except you don't want to touch it while it's still wet or still melting, which I messed up there, but that's okay. So the other thing I want to show you is that you can put, you know, some different colors in there. Using like a regular gold embossing powder. I've done it where I've put some little swirls through there. I haven't done it using the diamond rocks. Now, my embossing powders are still packed somewhere, but I'm going to try to just direct some of the color. I'm using an eyedropper, but we'll see what happens. Oops, you know what? Silly girl. I got to put that down first. Let's see if I can. So, I mean, doing something like this with a gold would be really, really nice. Yeah, this eyedropper's not really doing it. I have pipettes that I like to use as well. Or if you have a little spoon, you could use a little spoon to direct that color. Now, because I am putting this layer on, when I heat it, what's going to happen is that's going to be, you know, it's going to be not even. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the clear, and I'm going to try to go in between just to even it out a bit. And then we'll see how we do. We'll see what it looks like. It's all about playing and experimenting. All right. Let me dump the excess off. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, it's going to be cool. So I won't touch it until it's done, and then I will hold it up so you guys can see. So what it, you know, it's just creating a pattern in the background, which is really neat. Oh, it doesn't take long for it to cool, but look at that. Isn't that neat? Now you can also, you know, take sentiments and just, oh, I've got one here. So this piece here I just did, I'm not crazy. My reality is just different to yours. And again, I can crack it if I want, or I could just, you know, put it down the way it is. But I like that really, you know, antique kind of look to it. So when I'm playing with stuff like that, that's what I like to do. Or, you know, when you're taking a square or a picture or, you know, an image or one of your scrapbook papers that you really like, you can also just put the glaze on the top of it. So I stuck it down earlier with glue onto the chipboard, and then you want that glue to sit and dry because otherwise it'll just lift off on you. So for this one here, I just tap the top of it and I'm going to use the clear on top of that. Whoops. You don't want to get it all over your table. That is going to blow. I am the worst with embossing powder. I spill more embossing powder than anyone I know. So it just takes your paper, you know, your mixed media to another level. And then, like I said, I was playing around today with it, and I thought, I wonder if I really like the All and Create washi tape. What if I did a tag, with that? And I thought, it would look really cool. Now, the indigo blue, the little mini collector's stamps are perfect for this. Because, for putting an impression in, they are the best because they're nice small size and we've got some really, interesting patterns in them. So I'm just going to do 2 coats on this. I don't want you to have to watch me do this. And you'll get the idea. And sometimes I don't wait long enough and I see it's bumpy and I thought, oh yeah, it's done. But if you keep heating it, it will flow. And this is also called Ute. So it's ultra thick embossing powder. And so there we go. And so I've got my little, hot piece done. On the back of this, I've got the one that now I've got clear all over it. I'm going to heat that instead of trying to brush it off. There we go. And we use the diamond dust on the inside of the impression. So that's kind of a cool effect. So what I want to do next, I want to show you just the diamond dots, or diamond dust on its own. Why I keep calling it diamond dots. So the cool thing with the diamond dust is that we have these little brushes. There's 2 sizes. One is your fluffing brush and one is your tapping brush. So what I'm going to do, I will take, oh my gosh, this powder's all over. I showed you guys that. Sorry, but I have made an enormous mess. Best thing to pick it up, don't use a wet cloth. You're better to use one of these sticky lint brushes because it does pick it up a lot easier. Okay, take that off. Whoops. There we go. A little cleaner to work. Okay, so we've got those 2. We've got, doing it on stamping and then doing a clear on top. And so now I'm going to show you how you can use your diamond dust. So what I can do is I can take, this is this stamp set, which is really great. And it's all of these shapes that we have all these different shapes are part of the Diamond release. And these ones I've just painted black. When you buy these ones, they are already covered with gesso on this side. When I did my other pieces, these are pieces that I had, I put a coat of gesso on there before using them. So we've got all these different ones here. This is black and then stamping in white. And this looks really cool when it's heated up. So I can heat that one up after. I can show you that. And I used her, just her black paint. I also wanted to play around with some of the impasto paint to see how that would work. I'm watching Dan out my window trying to back up the trailer with more loads of stuff. Oh my gosh, we're never going to be finished unloading that second. Because we had 2 storage units. Now I can't find my blocks either. So I did use the back of one of my there we go. For my Big Shot, one of my plates. Sometimes when you're stuck, some other things work quite nicely. So I'm just going to ink this up. Yeah, cool brooches and pieces to hang off your folio. You know, you can make these squares smaller and then have these really cool pieces. Okay, so I've stamped that on there with the clear embossing. Where's the top for this? Because I don't want that one tipping all over. Dan's become a pro. He's got that trailer backed in. Okay, so let's take, let's use the pink flamingo. And so what I'm going to do is I take some of it on my brush. And this is super nice for backgrounds on your cards. And you just want to do a push, 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 push motion on there. Don't know if I've got, there we go. Okay, and after you've pushed it down, just let it sit for a minute. And then take your fluffy brush and you brush away the excess. And this is what you end up with. So, and they've got a really nice shimmer to them. So, you know, you can do different colors. You could do squares all over your journal back. Like you can make all kinds of really cool backgrounds for your pages with this. Now it is a dust. So, you know, if you rub it, yes, it will, some will come off or it will come off. But we set it with water. And then the other thing that you can do if you want to permanently set it, like if you're doing it on a card, on the background of your card, you can, oh, I had a lot on there. That's okay. I put too much. A little goes a long way. And again, take your big brush, brush the excess out of the way. And you could do all these beautiful different colors. Could have used some more right in there. May have just been the way. So all the excess brushes off. And then just take your spray and just set it. Whoops. Put maybe a little too much. But it's giving it that kind of watercolor look to it. Now you can also paint with this stuff. So, you know, if you have a wet brush, tip it in, and the color can give you a really neat look. I may have had too much water on that one. And then the next one. So, you know, again, trying to get the most out of your materials. It really is a lot of fun to experiment with. And, you know, again, I'm going to just take a little bit of water. Now you can also take it, tip it on your paper, and then mix it up, or on your plastic, your splat mat. Words aren't coming to me tonight for some reason. And again, so you've got that soft background. So you can take a floral stamp and then, you know, play with your colors. And obviously on white paper, it's going to look different than it does on the black paper. So on white paper, I don't know if I've got a piece of white here. Give me a second. Whoops, and there goes my, losing everything. So that same color on white is obviously going to look a lot different. You might be able to see the shimmer a little better in here. So there we go. So again, you know, it's got a different look to it. So those are some of the different things that you can do with this product. Lots of fun, you know, lots of playing with the mixed media. And then, you know, if you've got your art journal, you can do your backgrounds. Where did I put my art journal? It's underneath this stuff. I'll show you. Oh, and the other thing is you can use a stencil. Let me show you that. So you could take a stencil, put it down, and do your diamond dust through there. Let's see how we do here. And pounce it. Except I didn't put down my embossing. Try that again. There we go. Now we'll do it. So I'm just picking some up on my brush. Dab, dab, dab. Dab, dab, dab. So if you were doing a card, you would just lay a coat of the embossing, your embossing pad on the background. And then I can lift up, brush off the excess, and I've got this really, you know, really nice pattern for the background. All right. I was also going to try to run it through a little bit of my embossing folder and see how that went, but I got sidetracked by using the washi tape. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Now, as I said, next week we will be playing with the washi tapes. If you want to order the kit for the class, you're getting some good stuff in there. I'm actually pre-cutting the backgrounds for you so that you don't have to buy the die for the class. And it'll give you a taste on whether or not you like doing this. And also, you're going to get 2 full washi tapes in the kit, but you're also going to have a few washi tape strips that I pull off to allow you to make a few extra cards. So I was sitting here and I thought, you know what if I wonder if I tried doing, you know, taking a Prima tag, and this has got a covering on the top. What if, this is Heather with her thoughts, what if I took one of the All and Create tapes and put it down, and actually, I'm not going to do the same one. Where's my, I'm looking for my flamingo one. Hold on just a second. 2 others over here. Grab these things. Oops. Okay, so let me show you what I did here. And this time I'm going to do the flamingo. So I took one of these Prima tags, And I thought, nah, you know what? Let me just see what happens. Doesn't work, it doesn't work. I throw it out. So I did do, oops, it's all mucked up. Get rid of that. The cool thing, if you haven't played with this All in Create tape, is that it's called Layer It Up. And so the strips create your pattern. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 strips added on there. So there is little gaps, you know, the edges are ripped. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it with the flamingo. Now, that's my cat. Scruff, please. Don't do that. Worse than kids. You get the flamingo and Unwritten, which is the typewriter in the kit for next week. So I'm going to take my first piece. I'm just going to snap it. Scruff! No! I'm sorry. Go! Get down! Get down or I'm going to get the spray bottle. Get down! 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 Get! Oh, rascal. Well, he knows he's done wrong. Okay, then I'm going to line up. I'm going to take that piece off this edge. This tag is a little narrower. So I'm going to line up the beak. And I'm going to rip that edge off there. And then this part here, I might go longer on this side. Tear it off there. So you're tearing off your strips. And then your last strip, you know, maybe you want to go right across the page with the last strip. However you want to do it. And you end up with this beautiful, beautiful piece. So I thought, okay, well, now what's going to happen if I try to put some embossing powder over the top of that? So I did. So this part is super sticky. Excuse me. So because it's super sticky, I didn't put embossing, I didn't use the embossing ink pad on it. I just thought, okay, well, let's get a layer down and see what happens. So I think, I'm not sure if I used the pink flamingo on the last one, but why don't we use the green on this one? Get the lid on this. So I'm going to pour some green on the top. And what I did here is I only did one coat up here. And then down here I did more layers so that I could stamp into it. All right. Trying to find the stamp I used. It'll be ready, but I can't find the stamp that I used, so I'm going to use this stamp here. It's a floral anyway. I'm going to use that on the bottom, but I'm going to get this green up on the top first. Scruff, no, get down, down. Okay, so let's try this first. Let's see how we do with the green. Now I'm trying not to hit the tape because I don't want to overheat the tape because it doesn't have, you know, any powder on it. But I am going to just do one layer on the top and bottom before I get into too many layers and heat it up too much. And then I'm going to put the clear through the center. But as I said, I did not use any of the embossing powder here because my tag was sticky. And I thought, well, let me try it and see, you know, if that's going to work. And it did. But I'm just going to leave it like that for now. And the reason I'm doing that first is because it's this sticky, you know, tape on there. And I thought, well, let's get that covered first before I attempt to do anything else. And then I covered that. Oh, Scruff, no. No, you're going to put a hole in that. Give me that. Get out of here. He sleeps all day. He gets up at 8 o'clock and then he gets into trouble. Okay, so I don't want to overheat that section at this point. It's enough that, you know, it's in place, but I want to get a coat of my clear through the center. And I'm not worried about going over the top of the other pieces because it is clear. It's not going to create a problem. Scruffy, you have your own toys. Not quite sure why you got to take mine. Okay. So let's try that first blast. Now I didn't leave as much room on the bottom with the green, so I may end up switching this and putting some of the flowers embedded in the top. So I'm going over again where the green was. I'm not worried about that. I love these tapes. They're just so different. And, you know, they're great for these, but they're also great on your cards, which we'll do next week. Yeah, this washi tape is just great. So, you know, the kit is available for next week. Like I said, you're going to get 2 full rolls of tape. And then I am also going to give you some of my tapes so that you have different patterns to play with. I'm going to show you the start of one of the cards. I love watching this stuff work. It is really, really neat. So now that I have a layer, a layer on the, you know, the clear and the green, I can go in now and I'm going to do the 2 colors together at the same time. Oh, thanks, Erin. I do love the tags, and it's just, I wanted to do the tags anyway for the store because the tapes don't show, you know, like this is what the tape looks like. Well, what the heck is that? You know, you really can't see it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go over everything this time with my pad. I hope this is still juicy enough. So I'm going to pour through the center. I'm just going to try to be a little careful. And I'm going to make sure I get that whole area covered. Dump that off. And now I'm going to go in with the green on the end. Both ends. And that's going to make it darker and more glossy. Oops. Yes, the ink pad can be made juicy again, if that's what you mean. There is the refills to reload up your ink pad. So it starts out looking like, kind of like raindrops kind of look to it. And like I said, you can leave it like that. You don't need to do as many layers as I have been doing. It does give it a really cool kind of look. Now with your regular embossing gun, we tell you to keep moving it, keep it moving, you're going to burn. With this one, because the heat is like it's direct heat, and it's not blowing as much as your embossing gun, you can and you want to stay in one area when you're working with the diamond rocks, because if you go away from it, it's going to start to cool, and you don't want that. You want to be able to stay in that area, let it completely heat, and you end up with that super, super glossy look to it. Sorry, this is a big piece, so it's taking a while to heat. So in this case, I'm finding, 2 coats of clear is more than enough on this tag. Now you can see the top on here is quite bumpy. One area here and one area here. It is kind of lumpy down here. I like the look there. And the clear is super clear on there. But I'm going to put another shot of the green on the top, and then I'm going to take this flower and I'm going to indent. Now, after I indent it, we can take the diamond dots, or I keep wanting to say diamond dots. I must be wanting to go and work on my diamond dots. The diamond dust, and fill in areas. Okay, so I'm going to just do this top section with another layer of green. Make sure I get that lumpy spot. And this is the last thing I'm going to show you guys. Actually, I'll just, did I show you in my book? I don't think I did. I'll show you in my book and then we'll be done. So to prepare my stamp so it doesn't get burned, I'm just going to have it ready in the ink or the embossing pad. And now I'm going to heat this up again. Now I could have dripped some of it down, to create, instead of having like a solid or a fairly solid line. But I'm liking the way this one is looking. And then, I can add a few flowers on here, or I can put a ribbon on it. And then I've got a really pretty tag that I can add to a gift. But to be quite honest with you, I love these Prima tags. I do use them a lot, just for showcasing my papers. And then I do change them on my desk. Yeah, it's like wants to stay bumpy lumpy. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. It's going to heat it a little bit more. There we go. So that has smoothed out. Let me see if I can get this side smooth as well. That side doesn't want to, but that's okay. So I'm just now taking this and I'm going to push it down, down, and you can go as deep as you want, depending on how hard you're pushing. If you don't like it, you can heat it up again. Right there. I think I want to heat right there. And I'm going to just get the edge. Nope. You can call me a liar. see. Ouch, burnt my finger, so I knew it would work. There we go. So up on the top now I've got those little flowers. A little hard to see, especially when the cat has knocked my... So I've got flowers on the top. This is all glossy. And then I've got my bumpy area on the bottom to create this tag. You like that? So lots of fun. And then, like I said, you can take your diamond dust and go in and color the flowers, but I won't do that now. So then, you know, you can, this is the other one that I did. And then, you know, you can just put those blocks on the front of your different albums. I just started playing and creating here. So that's with the diamond dust and the stamp, and then I'm just doodling in between with a white gel pen. So I'll continue this as a background, and then I can add something on the top of it. So that is it for me, everybody. That's all I wanted to show you tonight. Next week, as I said, we're going to be creating cards. They're going to be looking like this. So much fun. We're going to be doing some circular ones and then these rectangular ones that you can attach then to a card base. And this is the washi tape with the rub-ons and the stamps in the background as well. So a fun piece. Beautiful cards. All right. So that is everything tonight, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Just trying to, you know, show you some of the different products we have and what you can do with them. So have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your night. I will be back up on Sunday night, for possibly Sunday night if I get down to the border this week, because there is lots of stuff there. Yes, Gay, so that's our class for next week. So if you want the kit, you can order the kit. It is in the online store now. I did post it on Facebook with the, I think I did, or I was waiting till tomorrow because we did a couple of posts already today. I didn't want to overwhelm everybody. Yeah, so possibly up on Sunday, and then Monday we have our auction of unique products again. So, and we'll have the internet fixed by then for sure. So have a good week, everyone. Stay safe and keep creating.